And of course, as Dr. Huda said, we have started the phone call and we have ended it with the representation of women in the upcoming House of Representatives and the participation of the female voters casting their votes and casting their ballots in different parts of Egypt and all over the world as well. Let's see how the upcoming phone call will be starting and ending, because I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
It is my pleasure. How are you?
The pleasure is all mine. First of all, Mr. Ambassador, how do you see the success of the National Elections Authority in coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be organizing one parliamentary election after another, the reruns, the different phases, big governorates, different embassies all over the world, 139 diplomatic missions, 117 countries? How do you see the success of this partnership between the National Elections Authority and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with no complaints whatsoever regulating the process?
I followed it with a lot of interest. I was so proud of my ministry and my minister doing this fine job. It is very important for our Egyptians living abroad, and we are proud of them and their performance everywhere. They are a source of foreign currency for our country and the largest source of currency for Egypt.
Yes.
But when I was abroad all the time, I seized any opportunity to have them with us, whether in Ramadan, whether while our sheikhs coming to celebrate Ramadan by receiving Quran, but in the national occasions, in the national day. And always I say something which I hope that every Egyptian abroad listen to it. If an Egyptian have the idea of having cup of tea, Egyptian cup of tea, he should not hesitate of coming to the embassy just to have a cup of tea.
Yes.
This is normal, but sometimes it is difficult in a consulate like Jeddah, where millions of Egyptians are there, and really our number abroad is not that big. But I am there to serve them whenever they need us. We are there. Coming to the election,
yes,
of course I am from the generation who was encouraged by my grandfather, by my father, to go even before having the right of voting, just to watch what is going on. Because in my city, Damietta, we were biased to certain men and certain families who we think, or we thought that they can represent my city quite well. And that's why we were there to watch what was going on. Then when I had the right of voting, I did it always, I did it all the time. And once just I wanted to smile here, that my name is in Damietta. While I was studying in Alexandria, where the responsible gentleman who was responsible for El Shat, he put my name in Alexandria.
yes,
Here I voted in Damietta. I didn't know that my name was in Alexandria also. So there was a penalty of £5 for those who do not vote.
yes,
And it took me some time to get rid of the £5. It was something to me by that time.
yes.
Anyway,
It was a big sum.
Coming to our subject, I think this is a very good process, a very good to give a message to our Egyptian living abroad that we need them, we need their vote, and something good that now our president decided that some of the Egyptian living abroad to be presented in the parliament, to listen to their vote, listen to what do they need. So it is a sort of exchange of thoughts and the exchange of experience between the authorities and our nationals living abroad.
Mr. Ambassador, you've raised a couple of important points. One of them, of course, we do know that you have served at different Egyptian embassies and different diplomatic missions all over the world in different continents, and you've dealt with the Egyptian expatriates in different continents. What are the demands of the Egyptian expatriates, of the House of Representatives in Egypt in general, and more specifically at this stage, what is needed? Because you mentioned that we need them, we need their votes, we need their will to be going and casting their ballots. But on the other hand, what do they need from the upcoming House of Representatives? What do they demand from the Parliament?
Very important question. And simply they need somebody to listen to them. Sometimes they have a very small problem and they don't know where to go. Then it is my duty to advise them what to do. I always give the example when I was in Rio de Janeiro, 7,000 miles from my country. I received a gentleman, Egyptian gentleman, who was working in Sao Paulo, saying that this is his first visit to the embassy since 15 years. Why? Because he felt once that he was not well received. And really I discovered that there was a small driver who was making himself a general consul general and talking to people with nose up.
Like then the mayor of the Egyptians there in Brazil.
Yeah. Then I met this brother Egyptian. Then few weeks later I received a letter from a lady living in Jordan saying that she lost her family, her father and her mother, and her brother is in Brazil and she doesn't know how to contact her brother. Here's one small role of the embassy that I was there. I met her brother and I immediately wrote to her about the address and telling her that her brother is in good shape. He was visiting me and many things the Egyptians abroad are in need. One more thing, not only the Egyptians, but the whole Arab and the Islamic community. I remember once in my life, also I was in Brazil, when Sheikh Al-Husari, the young Husari, not the father.
Mahmoud.
Yes, Mahmoud Al-Husari is the father. The young guy was Sayyid Al-Husari,
yes.
And he is still studying Quran. He came, for the first time in my life, a sheikh came to Brazil to recite Quran during Ramadan. And I was amazed by the number of Muslims going to our mosque in Sao Paulo to listen to him. I said, why are you doing this? The answer was amazing. They said, this is the first time that we hear Quran from a recitator, not from a radio or
yes.
from a record. Can you imagine that there are Muslims all over the world who never hear Quran from the Sheikh himself? And this is something, of course. Many things you can do, many things can make you on top of everybody, and thanks to our Al-Azhar. When I was ambassador in Cameroon, deep in Africa, Cameroon is 12 million, 4 million Muslims, 4 million Christian, and 4 million nothing.
Yes.
So we were doing our best to bring some of them. And every week I go to the mosque, I have 5-10 people coming into Islam, and I always give them a small present of galabiyas, Egyptian galabiyas. And many people were giving me money to buy more and more galabiyas for them.
Yes.
Things like that. But anyway, it is a source of exchange of opinion, exchange of views, and we are proud of this community. They have very good reputation abroad. Once I was driving my car in Austria, and the gentleman who was serving me, from which country? I said Egyptian. He said the Egyptians here are the best workers with us, and he gave me many reasons to say that. So, alhamdulillah, we have 1.5 million Egyptians in Europe, and because of course the language is a big barrier, so you have very up to the level of Egyptians in Europe. That's why Italy is giving us 6,000 visas for those who want to migrate to Italy legally. Greece also, they like, once ambassador of Greece told me that 25% of the sailors on the fleet, on the fleet of Greece are Egyptian, coming from Egypt, especially from Damietta, from Izbet el-Burg.
Yes.
Because Izbet el-Burg is on top of the River Nile, close to the Mediterranean, and they have the best sailors in the whole world.
They both have the sea
like
and the river.
Proud of them.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador, you've also raised another important point, is that for the future, we could be having a representation for the Egyptian expatriates within the parliament. Do you think this could be done? When can it be done?
I think it's already done, because the president make a point when he nominates. They are not elected, but they are nominated by the president. It's already there, and we can of course make it more and more.
To be appointed by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the quota that is being appointed within the parliament. So people from outside of Egypt, or the Egyptian expatriates living outside of Egypt, could be appointed by the president into the parliament.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, how do you see the efforts of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdel Ati for the past years to be integrating the Egyptian expatriates more and more within the Egyptian fabric, the homeland? Because we have seen the trips, the conversations, the discussions, the suggestions by both sides, the expatriates and the Foreign Minister Abdel Ati, within every meeting held, I would say every day, because Minister Badr Abdel Ati, the Foreign Minister, is very active. He has a lot of efforts. He has exerted a lot of efforts in different parts of the world to be integrating the Egyptian expatriates once again. How would you assess those efforts into this field, and of course for the same end, for the benefit of the Egyptian expatriates?
I am afraid to talk here because really I am totally biased to Dr. Badr Abdel Ati.
Yes.
Because I follow him since he was an attaché in our embassy in Tel Aviv. And every move in his life I followed it, and he makes sure that I follow him, because we establish a sort of friendship between a father and his son. So when he was presenting his thesis of magister, I followed it. When he presented his doctorate, I followed it. When he went to Germany, I have a good picture in the diplomatic club where we hosted him before he went to Berlin. Amr Moussa was there, Mustafa Al-Fiqi was there, and many foreign ministers. Then when he became in Brussels as our representative, really it was amazing that this man, he knows every centimeter of our foreign ministry. So I trust that he is the right man in the right place, and he talks quite well. He knows everything. He talks languages. So I trust him.
Yes, and we do trust him as well. Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate and Nile TV International. And this brings us to the end of the program for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you next week.